All right, we got 5 minutes on the clock. What's your name and what's your podcast show?
Hey there, my name is Scott Goodrich, and thanks for having me, Josh. The podcast is called Grow Your Damn Business.
Grow your damn business. So, we're going to talk a little bit about growth today. What have you learned over the years of doing this? What milestones have you hit? Kind of give us an idea of what you've accomplished through your podcast show.
Yeah, and still relatively new, Josh, on the podcast. It's episode 30 coming out this week, one a week since the June, haven't missed a week. So first lesson, consistency. You'll hear it time and again, and anyone looking to start, you got to stay at it. So that's the first thing. Don't get pod fade, don't slow down, and don't run away from something just because you don't get that first sponsor that's going to pay the $1 million you're looking for. That ain't going to happen. So the consistency is key.
Yeah. So, pod fade, what is that for people who listening in who've never heard that before?
Sure, and new term for me as well, being relatively only half year into this, but it's just really about the frustrations and the how you can get tired from recording some shows that you think are good, putting out some content that you think has got a lot of value, and then am I reaching the ears and or the eyes that I'm looking to reach through my show? And when that doesn't happen right away, you can be like, well, is this really worth it? Like, is this time and energy effort I'm putting into it? And so you fade. The intensity dies down. You miss a few weeks, you miss a month, and all of a sudden that consistency goes away. And going back to what I started with, the first thing that I would share with you is just be consistent and stay after it. That's going to light it plays. You got to play the longer game here than trying to be a quick hitter. Unless you're a celebrity coming to it with an already and having an audience, and you're just out there independently trying to build something, the consistency has got to be step one.
Yeah. So you're a business coach, you're an investor, you've done all these things for businesses. You're a growth expert for business, right? And now
Yeah.
you're stepping in the world of podcasting. Why did you start a podcast show?
Well, first off, just as I'm launching really and getting into my coaching practice after long years of doing other things, was a way to share a little bit about myself and my personality, and just bring some trust to folks that may hear this voice for the first time in this particular environment. So that was first and foremost. And secondly, Josh, I had a few stints on the radio like a million years ago and just loved it. And obviously, podcasting is kind of that new media form that is so similar to radio. I'll say back in the day as an older guy, but
Yeah.
just have always had that love of this way of communicating with others. So I think it came together nicely. It was a natural fit. I was a guest first, and just love that experience so much. So said, okay, there's something here that I can share with others, and so jumped into the hosting side of things.
Yeah. Best expectation met and maybe a missed expectation that as starting a podcast show, what did you think was going to happen that didn't, or what did you experience that you were like, man, I'm so glad it did?
Let's see. So the thing that's been great is I've actually had a great response. So if you're putting out good, solid content and you're being consistent, folks will want to come on your show. And frankly, even in my newness, right, of 30 episode mark and getting started, I end up turning down more guests than have come on. So it's helpful to be in that position. So that's meant, and I've had some exciting guests come on. I've got one that I'm releasing this week that I'm especially excited about. So that's real good. For those that aren't familiar, but with Bob Berg. Bob Berg is the author of the Go Giver series, and I
So
recorded
good.
with Bob a couple of weeks ago, and his episode is releasing this week as the 30th episode. So super excited about that. Um, Expectations not met. Look, I'm a numbers guy, and you can get wrapped around the axle if you're looking at the numbers all the time. And it takes a bit to realize that it is not about how many, but who. What is the audience that you're tracking? What is it made up of? Because ultimately, you do want to be talking to people that are interested in the topics that you have. And there are ways that you can go about getting more ears and eyes on your show, but that may not be the right answer. And that work or money spent to try to make that happen is not the right way to spend your money. Be more focused on who is listening than how many.
Yeah, that's such a good point. We, myself included, focus so much on the downloads or how many views, how many engagements. And really, if one person listened and they bought something or they did something, the desired action, that was a win. So, man, really great point. Scott, name of your show one more time and where can people find it?
Sure. It's the Grow Your Damn Business podcast, and Grow Your Damn Business is on all the major podcast platforms. It's under the YouTube channel at the same name. And I've got a website titled the same thing, growyourdamnbusiness.com.
Awesome. And all this was under 5 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you on the next episode.